Ollie oxen free. Any of you lawyers out there? I mean, look at this stuff. Gypsy Rose, Gypsy Rose, Gypsy Rose. Come on, I'm looking for a lawyer out there that's got some teeth and some guts and is really ready to do some fighting. And here's why. Okay, let me see here. This is what I found, and I find it quite interesting, and I'm saying that Nicholas Godejohn's rights were violated. Failing to ensure an individual with autism spectrum disorder understands their rights can render a waiver invalid and any resulting confession inadmissible in court. The illegality hinges not on the diagnosis itself, but on whether the waiver of rights was knowing, intelligent, and voluntary, which it was not. Why autism affects Miranda rights. And you can see it all right there. It says it for itself. Now, individuals with ASD often have core deficits in communication, social cognition, and executive functioning that can directly undermine their capacity to understand legal decisions, including the complex language and abstract concepts involved in standard Miranda warnings. Key challenges include difficult with comprehension. The wording of the Miranda warnings can be complex, and a person with ASD might struggle to grasp the full meaning and consequences of the waiving of his rights. Suggestibility and compliance. While suggestibility may not always be higher, individuals with ASD can be significantly more compliant with authority figures, potentially leading them to agree to waive their rights or confess without complete understanding of the consequences, which Nicholas did not. He did not understand the consequences because she told him, oh, it's just like you saw on TV. She was an authority figure, and she spoke to him in a nice, friendly voice. Misinterpretation of cues. A person with ASD might not pick up on the adversarial nature of an interrogation, especially if the police officer seems friendly, potentially leading them to speak with a neurotypical person would not. Communication difference. A lack of eye contact, a monotone voice, and giving unrelated answers, common in ASD, can be misinterpreted by law enforcement as suspicious behavior, deception, or escalating in the situation. Now, he gave some strange answers, like, did they give you, you didn't eat? Oh, I had something before I got here. They just gave me that. And then he went on to talk about his ham sandwiches and how they came with mayonnaise and, things that totally just did not belong in there. And then legal implications. If confession is obtained in violation of the suspect's Miranda rights without the warning being read, or if the person could not understand it, the statement is generally inadmissible in a criminal trial under the exclusionary rule. Court will hold a suppression hearing to determine if the waiver was valid. In these cases, expert testimony is often used to demonstrate that a person's specific deficits presented a knowing, intelligent waiver. Well, I'm telling you, by looking at it as a parent of an autistic child, my husband, who's also a parent of an autistic child, we both watched it and went, oh man, Nick got screwed. So watch his Miranda rights. Watch how he goes through it. You can tell he doesn't know what's going on, because he even asks, hey, can you read them all to me and then sign at the end? And she said, no, we got to do it this way. And then he asked, what does that mean? She's like, oh, like trickery or whatever. You could tell he didn't understand. And he should have had his mom there. His mom was there at the police station. Why was she not in the room with him? She should have been in the room. And that's the least the police should have done, is had his mother in the room with him to ensure understanding. To prevent the violation of rights, legal and law enforcement are encouraged to implement special autism-informed practices. Specialized training. Law enforcement agencies and legal professionals can benefit from specialized training on interacting with individuals with ASD. Accommodations. Under the American with Disabilities Act, individuals with disabilities are entitled to reasonable accommodations, which might include having a parent, guardian, or expert present during questioning. Now, Nicholas being level 2 and requiring support for his daily activities required a support person in there. And also, if you look under the ADA, it states that rights are to be broken down to them, not just recited and signed, that they need to be broken down to ensure understanding, which they were not. Nicholas just read it and signed it. Legal guidance. Individuals with ASD and their families can consult legal resources like the Autism Society or seek a lawyer with expertise in the area, such as those listed in the American Bar Association for guidance. I don't believe Nicholas' parents knew that they had these rights. I believe they were low income and they were struggling and doing the best they could in a situation they never thought they'd find themselves in. Now, here's a couple of good articles. Language is a critical mediator of autistic experiences within the criminal justice system. And there's the link. Autism Spectrum Disorder, ASD, Miranda Rights Deficits and False Confessions. And there's the link. I'm still of contention that Nicholas Godejohn his Miranda rights was violated, that he did not know what he was signing, and that was inadmissible in court, and that he should be released and sent to live in a group home where he can have supervision and visits with his father, and where he can have some semblance of a life and the supervision that he needs. And that Gypsy Rose get out here getting rich on the back of everybody. Well, lawyers, why don't you take some of that money? I'm sure you can get some of it back. I'm sure you can use it too. And I bet you that if a lawyer was to come on here and say that they were going to do the Nicholas Godejohn case, I bet you'd find that there'd be a lot of people who would donate to help him get legal representation and get the possum back in the cage.